Stop thinking and start talking. Yes, dear friends, welcome to Speak English with Rennie. And today we have an exciting and very important topic for all English learners. Stop thinking and start talking. I'm really excited about today's topic because today's topic is very, very important. This is the one thing, the secret that you can get fluency over your spoken English. Yes, dear friends, many learners are struggling to speak fluently in English because they are overthinking, worrying a lot, and they are overthinking about that. Maybe pronunciation, whether I'm telling a proper pronunciation or my sentence is correct or not. So, the hindrance where it would stop you to talk. So, to improve your spoken English, you need to stop your overthinking or thinking and you need to just start speaking. I hear this all the time. What if I make a mistake? What if my pronunciation is not correct? What if I go wrong somewhere? Yes, dear friends, these are the issues we know. I have seen learners hesitate to speak in English because they think about their mistakes. And one thing you should remember that to be fluent in English, you cannot stop talking. Only if you start talking, you can improve your English fluency. It's just an art of speaking that you need to start speaking whether it is right or wrong. And more you speak, more you will be fluent in English. Right? You cannot stop just for thinking that you would make mistakes, right? And remember that if you don't speak, that is the biggest mistake you are doing, and you are not able to speak fluently in English. Yes, today's topic is about that. You need to start talking and just stop thinking. So, if you always hesitate to speak, you cannot speak anything. And if you cannot speak anything, you cannot be fluent in English speaking. All right? So, this I'm going to share you a powerful tips. The powerful tips I'm going to share you today, and you will not hesitate to speak. All right? So, you need to shift your mind from stop talking to stop thinking. All right? First of all, you need to shift your mind from that I cannot speak or I hesitate to speak. You should overcome that. You should speak confidently without overthinking. And you need to get started with this. And this is the first step to be fluent in English. So, dear friends, before we get into the solution, let us talk about the problems that we are facing to speak fluently. Why do so many English learners overthink before speaking? What is that one thing stopping them to speak fluently? What is that one thing that stopping you from speaking naturally? Right? I think one of the biggest reason that you stop speaking is the fear of making mistakes. You just think that what if I make mistake? And thinking that you will not even start talking. What if people laugh at me? This fear would make you to stop talking a single sentence. And absolutely, if you have this fear, you will never start talking. Dear friends, even native speakers make mistakes and English learners make mistakes. And the difference is, even they mispronounce the words, even they do mistakes in the sentences, and they even forget the grammar rule. They even make imperfect sentences. But the funny part is, they keep talking. Yes, dear friends. And here is the point to be noted, that even English learners make mistakes and the native speakers make mistakes. Whereas the difference is, native speakers, they keep talking. Though they make mistake, they keep talking. Whereas English learners, they stop talking. This is the difference. Both English learners and native speakers make mistakes, whereas native speakers continue to speak, whereas English learners continue to overthink. And the result is, they pause and they stop talking. Dear friends, we no need to stop talking. We need to continue speaking much as possible. And the only way to improve your spoken English or English fluency is, just you need to speak. You might be doing pronunciation mistake, you might be doing grammatical mistake, you might be forming wrong sentences. Not a problem. If other person could understand you, then there is not a problem, even though if you make mistakes. Just like the native speakers, they speak though they make mistakes, because they know that the other person is able to understand what he is telling or what he is trying to say. Speaking is the key to speak fluently in English. So you know you to get frustrated. Once you get frustrated, you will stop talking, right? Try to speak as much as possible. And another big thing is the lack of confidence. Some learners, they don't have confidence that they can speak. You need to try to convey it in one or the other words. Then only you can continue that particular sentence. Dear friends, less you speak, more nervous you'll feel. When you become nervous, you cannot even speak, right? So you need to stop overthinking. You need to stop avoiding English conversation. But dear friends, here the good news is, you can do that. How you can speak fluently in English? If you stop thinking, stop overthinking, you can be fluent in English. Just you start talking, even though you make mistakes. And building of confidence. How to build a confidence, I am going to tell you, but you need to have that confidence that I can speak, right? So I am going to help you with this, how you can speak fluently in English without overthinking or without hesitating, right? Let us talk about the solution, because now we have seen the problem. What are the problems we are facing to speak fluently in English? Now let us understand that what are the solutions, how we can speak fluently in English. Dear friends, we need to start talking, and we need to start speaking without thinking too much. You no need to think here that what goes wrong. What is important for learners is to stop overthinking or over analyzing and just start speaking. Main reason is that fluency comes from only from practice and not from the perfection. Dear friends, you no need to be perfect to be fluent in English. To be fluent in English, you need to start speaking. Okay? If you always think about your grammar or vocabulary, you will never develop your speaking method and you will not build confidence, which is very important to speak fluently in English. Just imagine, dear friends, how the babies start to learn. Don't learn grammar at first, right? They just listen and repeat and keep talking. Even if they make mistakes, over time, their speech improves naturally, right? So, exactly the same way we adults can do. We can just start talking without worrying about vocabulary or grammar mistakes. We can learn in the same way. Instead of waiting until your English becomes perfect, you should speak as much as possible. Even if you make mistakes, you should continue with speaking, either with your friends or family members or colleagues or relatives. You can develop your English fluency. You can speak first and fix mistakes later. If you focus too much on perfection, you cannot correct anything because once you start talking, you will make mistakes, then you can do the corrections, right? You just cannot be keeping quiet. So, like this, you will end up with silence. If you just keep quiet, you will end up with silence. But if you just talk and worry about mistakes later, you will sound much more natural. That's a great tip, dear friends. And another tip I'm going to tell you that native speakers don't bother about what they speak, right? We think they know everything, but if you carefully watch that they are doing a lot of mistakes than what we do. So you don't worry about the small mistakes what you do. If you communicate clearly, the other person definitely will understand you. So nobody is judging you as much as you think because only we think that other person is going to judge me, but it is not the reality. If you are more relaxed and natural, confident you sound, and confidence makes people to listen to you more than the perfect grammar does. Yes, dear friends, now let us be honest. Even native speakers make mistakes, but they don't stop speaking, right? So learners should understand that making mistake is the steps to be fluent in English. All right? So unless you make mistakes, you cannot be fluent in English. That's the key thing. And the more you practice, the more you'll become perfect. Now, let me give you the practical tips. The tip number one is most powerful. The tip is you should not translate from your native language. If you always translate before speaking, it slows down. It slows down the process of speaking. You need to train your brain to think in English. Because if you think in English, the words will come faster and more natural. And that's the fantastic tip and a simple way to practice thinking in English is to describe your day. So, how you can practice that? You need to first describe your day in English. For example, if you are making coffee, you should say that I am making coffee. You should say in English that I am making coffee. You can say the coffee is boiling. I'm pouring the coffee now and I'm drinking coffee. So, like this, you can form sentences in your mind. That is called thinking in English. All right. This is the first tip. That is the practical tip. First practical tip is thinking in English. Whatever you do from morning to evening, everything you think in English. And dear friends, another tip is to speak without worrying about grammar. Of course, grammar is most important, whereas you no need to worry while you are in conversation because communication is most important than the grammatical part, right? Communication is more important than the correctness. If you keep on correcting, you cannot communicate. When you cannot communicate, you will stop ending your speaking. So even if you make mistake, people will still understand you. If you focus too much on grammar part, then maybe you are not able to convey the message what you want to convey. So forget about the grammar part. If you want the grammar part, you can separately you can learn. Even I have the videos on grammar, that is basic English grammar. I'm having the one more episode. You can go through that. Whereas while speaking, you no need to worry about grammar part because when you worry about grammar part, you will stop and you will pause in between the sentence and you are not able to complete that sentence. So when you start thinking in English, you will start talking and over the time you can correct yourself. This is the second tip. And now the third tip is practice to speak with confidence. In confidence, you need to practice to speak yourself. Because many of us think that we don't have a partner to speak. I cannot speak with my family members, I cannot speak with my colleagues. Well, no need to talk with them. First, you can talk to yourself. You can stand in front of a mirror and have a conversation with yourself. Or you can describe your day or what you see around or what you want to do. Everything you can describe to yourself. And this helps you to gain confidence and you will be comfortable with yourself because there is no one to judge you, right? This is called speaking out loud. This technique is called speaking out loud, the technique of speaking with yourself. All right, dear friends. Now, the another great technique is shadowing. Shadowing means listening some podcast or some videos and just trying to imitate that. That means to speak in the same way what you heard, right? You need to repeat that immediately after listening to a podcast or a video or a movie, whatever it is, that you need to repeat the sentence. Whatever they say, copy that and pronounce that. then you will get that rhythm of native speaker, and you will get that speed, and it's one of the fastest ways to sound more natural in English. Yes, dear friends, and you don't need to have a teacher, you don't need to worry about grammar part. Just listen and imitate that. Means you need to say the same thing what they say and how they say. Just find a YouTube video or a podcast or even a movie. You can just repeat after the speaker. This helps you to stop thinking and to start talking, because you don't need to think here that what I should say. So whatever they say you should say, right? So your brain will get used to that. Your brain will start thinking in English. So you can speak naturally. This is one of the best tip. And again, another practical tip is use simple sentences. Yes, dear friends, don't make complicated. You can make small sentences. Many learners fail to speak because they try to make big and complicated sentences. But it's okay if you make small and simple sentence, short sentence. So simple sentences gives you confidence. For example, saying, I would like to discuss an important matter with you. You can just say, I want to talk to you about something. You can just say, I want to talk to you something important. Simple. So, simple is always better. Simple is always better. What is your goal? The goal is to keep the conversation going on, not to stop anywhere, right? If you don't know particular word, you can explain it in another way. You need to stop conversation to sound perfect. Even though it is imperfect, you can continue with the conversation. Keep the conversation going on. Don't be afraid that you are going to make mistake, because every mistake is the part of your learning. Is the process. Only when you make mistake, you can be perfect. If you are too scared to make mistakes, you won't speak at all. And that is the mistake of all the mistakes. If you are scared, if you stop talking, that is the biggest mistakes. That's the biggest mistake. Mistake, the mistakes are the proof that you are learning and you are improving. Another tip for your English fluency, to immerse yourself in English, that is, listen to English content. You need to listen only to the English content, not to your native language. Okay? When you listen to English content, it becomes easier for you to speak without thinking. So, listen to podcast, watch movies, or surround yourself with English content. Maybe English newspaper, English books, or English movies, or English music, or English podcast, English videos, everything and anything. Keep in English. Okay? The more you hear the English, the more your brain absorbs natural speech pattern. Natural speech pattern makes you be fluent in English. And the one final tip is set a speaking challenge. You set a challenge for yourself. For example, challenge yourself to speak in English minimum half an hour a day. Minimum 30 minutes, I will speak only in English. Let it happen anything. If you Give yourself a challenge, then definitely you can be fluent in English. Even if you don't know a word, just keep talking. If you don't know, if you are not getting a word, that dining table, you can just say the place where we sit around to have our food. Simple. Instead of stopping there, you need to describe it in some other way. Dear friends, the more you push yourself to speak, the more confident you will become. All right? Now, let us now quickly summarize that what we have understood. That is, first you need to think in English and don't worry about the grammar part. Practice yourself and practice the technique of shadowing and keep sentences simple and immerse yourself in English content. Don't worry about making mistakes. Okay? Embrace mistakes. No problem if you make mistakes. And last but not the least, set a challenge. Set a speaking challenge to yourself. Dear friends, if you follow these tips, you will start speaking fluently in English. And now I'll give you a spontaneous challenge. You need to stop overthinking and start talking. How does the challenge work? You should take a topic that is maybe your day to day activities or whatever topic. You can take a topic and speak about it. The challenge is you should not stop. You cannot stop in between. If you don't know the particular word, you can describe it in some other ways. Think about that particular topic at least for 30 seconds. And one, you cannot stop in between. You should be keep continuing. And if you don't know particular word, you can describe that in another words. So that I'm just giving you an example. All right. I wake up at 7 a.m. and I brush my teeth, drink a glass of water, I do my exercise, and I go for bath. I get ready to go to office. Then I do my office work there. I attend meeting and I have my lunch at 1:30. I take a cab. Then I come back at 5 p.m. My rest of the housework after that. Then I go to bed at 9 p.m. So, dear friends, this is the simple way of talking. Make simple sentence, small sentence. You don't need to think anything, right? Whatever you do, you are telling. So, you are not thinking anything, you are just talking. So, this is the way you should do. Just start talking and stop thinking. All right? Don't worry about the grammar part. Don't worry about the vocabulary. Don't worry about the sentence formation. Take this spontaneous speaking challenge and practice yourself. Right? Keep pushing yourself every day. When you keep pushing yourself every day, your mind will be active. Okay, dear friends? When your mind is active, mind starts thinking, you can be fluent in English. That's all for today. Press the like button if you like this and share this with others if you enjoyed this video, as well as subscribe this channel to get each and every videos as and when I upload, as well as if English classes, you can click on the join button, membership level 4, as well as you can watch my videos about grammar part. All right, that's all for today. Dear friends, see you in the next video.
If you like this video, click on the like button and share it with others so that they also can learn. Hit the subscribe button and subscribe the channel so that you will get everyday new tips on this